say you want your API, for example, if we run this, and let's take a shortcut, open the browser, say we go into the base address. Naturally, nothing will happen because we're not serving anything to this endpoint. Of course, if you do API excuses, there we have this our endpoint for getting the excuses. But we say you want to customize this endpoint here, so you show something, maybe you want some cool UI or some just you want to document something that documents your API, similar to how Swagger does it, right? Swagger in the explanation, I think that's the one, right? Yeah. Here we see how it automatically is documented. And here's the reason we're also using the excuse input DTO. For example, say we're creating here. We don't need to imagine every time you're testing, you have to remove that ID properly here. This is how it looks if you had used the same module. And here it was an integer, say it was 1. Like this. Then every time we test, you would have to remove this, and then you can do the execute. So by using a DTO also, we don't have to do that. That's one thing. Okay, so let's get back on track. Easy to get lost here. We want to serve something on the base URL, maybe something that documents our API. Now, I'm not going to document that much, but I'm just going to show you how it works. So I'm just going to close this. And let's see. We need two things, actually. First, we need to add a folder here, a special named folder. It's called wwwroot. And if you worked with Blaze or anything, then you recognize this icon. That's how it looks. And in here, we can add a file. I'm not sure there's a template directly for us. Probably here in web, right? But let's be lazy, just select it immediately. Wow, okay. Whatever. Let's remove that. And let's call it index.html. Nothing. Yeah, good. Yeah, because it makes a... That's... Oh, okay. Well, I think you all know how this ends. Can't believe I have to write all of this. Let's be lazy. Let's use VS. Let's see if there is a template for this, so we can save some time. New item. We have an HTML file. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice HTML page. Sure. Let's say. Oh, nice. Now we get the default template. Don't want to write all that. And here we could say the excuses API. And then we can go to the body, and I can add an H1, and I can say excuses API. Not sure if you know this, but if you type the tag name and then tab, it automatically does that for you. And then here we could have added some link or something, some documentation. For now, let's just keep it simple, just a header. And with that in place, we need, close that. We need to do two things here. First, we have to say that we want to use static files. So app use static files. It's floating. That's all you have to do, nothing else. And then we need to provide this index when we are when someone navigates to that endpoint or sends it. So let's say app map get similar to all of those, and the base URL, the slash. That's the base. And then here, say context arrow curly braces, and then context, response, and redirect. And we want to redirect it to the index.html file. And by default, this is an asynchronous operation. That's why we're going to do this way. Let's say return test, complete test. It's going to be a bit difficult to understand. But this is necessary. Otherwise, I think you would have to remove this. And then we use async, I think. I think the alternative version is, could actually just show it. It's like this, and then we say async You see the context. Let me get this. So both are valid, but I'm gonna go with down above. And now we have that saved. I can run this. It's done. I'm gonna go here. We can go back here and then refresh. We get that. So that's nice. That's all we have to do to be able to have that. All right, until next time.